So the headies head on Sunday. People are calling it the worst headies ever.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I think it's a very ignorant statement to make, because of a few factors, right? If you are saying it's the worst headies ever, that means you have not been following the headies. Like, you have to watch the early events to know that some headies have been terrible, like graphically, aesthetically. And there was a time that next rated, the price for next rated was 100,000 naira. Asha's next rated was 100,000 naira. Now it's a car, right? So there's been progress over the years. And then you have to look at what the headies have to contend with. They're in uncharted waters right here, right? They have to host an award show during the pandemic, right? And they can't invite everybody inside the hotels like they used to. So they have to broadcast both live, and they still have to host live events. I mean, virtual events and live events. It's a problem. And my problem is, not that my problem, the problem with a lot of these people is that they are not even being constructive towards the headies, right? The headies have been doing this thing for 14 years, right? A lot of people can't even do something for 1 year consistently. Like, they can't get out in front of something and work for 1 year. But you want to criticize people that have been doing something for 14 years. But then here's the problem. No, before we get there, we also have to look at the fact that over the past 3 years, the headies have improved considerably, like considerably. You look at how the nominations have been more inclusive, the events have been better. Like, the three headies events before this year, they were better than the past ones, than the previous five editions. Awards have been better. They've been getting them considerably. The winners have been considerably acceptable. But this year's own is a huge slap in the face. Like, if you are going to, whatever is worth doing is worth execution with aplomb. If you are not going to do it, then don't do it. It's an eyesore if Nigeria is the biggest night in Nigerian music, probably even African music. Because look at the status of Nigeria. Nigeria is the apex of Africa in terms of art and pop culture. And the headies is the biggest music show in Nigeria. So it's probably, arguably, the biggest music show in Africa. We're going to talk about the Mamas. Maybe the Mamas, yes. The Mamas hosted by MTV and all that. But the Mamas, they've done 6 editions in 13 years. Not exactly what you can vouch for. So it's the headies. There were problems, terrible problems with the production of that show. Like, they did get some things right. The nominations were good, like I said the other time. The stage was good. The stage this year was quite good. But the picture quality of what they were projecting was horrible. Terrible. Absolutely nonsensical. Then you have to look at how the red carpet was a huge fail. The red carpet hosts were terrible. Horrible. They couldn't even, one of them didn't even know how to pronounce Mologo rather. One of them was reading out the best alternative album category and got to Idia Aisien as glitz. The person said, "This guy, are you serious? This dude." You look at how it was obvious that these people are not exactly music people. And then they got to after the red carpet, the pre-event, we could hear what people were saying backstage. That was bad. We could hear what Bobby was saying. You know, when we entered the stage, you could give them some things like that. When they were looking for Nancy Simmons' mic. And then the thing that was on loop, 14th Headies. What is it again? Let's record? Or what was it again? Let's explore. What are we exploring for 34 minutes? 34! They kept on recycling that stuff. But then again, we can't blame them for starting late. Because why? A lot of artists don't arrive on time. The artists were not there on time. And if you had started a lot of those, the ceremony before the artists got there, it would have been a problem. Because you then have to slow it down in the middle of an award show so that the artists can get into formation. But then now, a lot of that is also the problem with the headies, right? It shows that funds are not being expended enough on that show. Now, that's the twofold. Because you have to look at the headies. You are doing it's a business in Nigeria. That's a problem on its own. It's already a problem. But then if you are going to do it, then you have to do it properly. Like in advanced and same crimes, right? Award shows put one person on, they put a person to attend to one artist, one person per artist, an attendant, and that person has a PA. So that person knows how to get the artist to the venue on time, attends to the artist, make sure the artist is backstage, it's in the green room 30 minutes before it's due to perform. They are not doing any of those things. Artist relations is bad. It's a lot of problems. So you can't say that you can't necessarily say that the event was bad. It was an epic fail, but it wasn't a total fail because they got certain things right. Like the show itself.
What did they get right in the show?
The stage was good, like I said the other time. The stage was quite good, like aesthetically pleasing, and it was also tailored to the motion. You know how stages last year they had a good stage, right? But this stage was more tailored to live performances. It accentuated it and lifted it. Like all the special effects, the smoke and everything, the stage was tailored to that. The nominations were good. They wrapped it up in timely manner. They didn't drag it excessively. Even though we couldn't watch it till the end. They got that right. They also got the part of they got a lot of celebrities attended this year, more than they did last year. Last year clashed with Wizkid's show in London. This year, a lot of people attended. The only people you could count on a few fingers the people that didn't see that. So it means that a lot of people attended. A lot of people. So those things they got it right. Artist relations also got better this year because pre-event is still not at the top, at the apex level that it could be. But pre-event they had some interviews, conversations with artists and all of that. So it was much better.
How about the awards itself? The awards itself, how would you rate it?
Well, it's a twofold, right? They got their awards right. And then there were some borderline decisions. There were some borderline wins, say where Niniola won, where Praise won. Those ones were, you can argue and say, oh, I don't think these people deserve it. But then you might not be able to convince the person you're arguing against if that person doesn't have a bias to say that, oh, this person 100% didn't deserve it. But the ones that they got wrong, like terribly wrong, two. Brimo, The Cavemen winning Best Alternative Album. The Cavemen deserve it. Roots is a fantastic album. But Brimo's Yellow was nominated for Album of the Year. So how is something considered for Album of the Year not winning this category? Doesn't make any sense. Now you can say that based on the conversation of one alternative album might be better than another. That's fantastic. But this award is meant to celebrate music. It's an aggregator. It's a conversation aggregator. So if you are saying something is good enough for Album of the Year, then it should be winning it should be winning this category. If that's not part of the thing, then they need to change their rules entirely. They keep making this mistake. It's an eyesore. And then Wizkid for Artist of the Year was just a horrible decision. In terms of people they nominated in that category, it was Burna Boy. Burna Boy should simply have won that category. Simply. If it's not Burna Boy, then it should have been Davido. If it's not Davido, they're making Mayorkun. Because during the year in review, the Made in Lagos comeback that has really that's taking Wizkid to another level was not during the year in review. So why is Wizkid winning Artist of the Year? He released four singles during the year in review and one EP that was terrible. So why is he winning Artist of the Year compared to Burna Boy that released 2 albums during the year in review? How? Why? So one reason that Fireboy might not have gotten an Artist of the Year nomination was because he got Revelation of the Year. But these things have to be revisited. These rules can be clashing. If you are getting Revelation of the Year, then it doesn't stop you from getting Artist of the Year. That boy should have won Artist of the Year easily. But then they still got a couple of things right. The moments of the night was the opening performance, the opening sequence, which was fantastic. The NSAS moments, Bovi's shirt, the hosts were better. Nancy Sime was much better this year than she was last year. eyelashes win for lyricist on the road, which was good. I mean, it was an upset. Everybody expected Eunice to win it, but the win for country was time sensitive and it was amazing. But then you have to come back. The major, then another thing, AQ winning best rapper for God's Engineering was also a good moment, sentimentally for rap fans across the country. But the moment that really got everybody talking was the Burna Boy thing again. The Headies and Burna Boy they're at a crossroads. On the one part, you have the Headies who are a business. They are trying to run a business. They are trying to make something move forward. And then you have Burna Boy, who has a grievance against the Headies. Regardless of what they do, even if he wins 72 awards in one night, all the awards, he's not going to acknowledge it and he's not going to like it. The Headies are trying to run a business propelled by sponsors. Sponsors want to see the big names. People that win awards, it's a good look when they attend those awards because it's good for their brand, it's good for the marketing and the advertising they paid for. It's not a good look when Burna Boy wins an award and it's not showing up. The big question here is, why is an African giant not acknowledging an award in his own country? African giant. Like, bro, it's been 8 years. Brother, 8 years. Get over it. Get over yourself.
Context, what was he angry about?
He's angry, reportedly, allegedly, he's angry since he stormed out of a hotel after he lost next year to Chontizo in 2013. He's not been back at there. He's never been the same with his relationship with the Headies. And let's go back to this award. It wasn't a clear-cut robbery. Chontizo was slightly higher than him that year. Let's look at the singles that Chontizo released. Chontizo had Mamaye, he had Shole, he had Kilogbe, he had another song. During the year review, what did Burna Boy have? Like to Party, I Beg. He had Run My Race, and he had Yawade during the year review. All those songs, you can't compare them to Chontizo's song. His album dropped just after the year review. Chontizo's album dropped the next year. Now, how can you, that run, even though Burna Boy had the EP run, two EPs before he released before he had that run, Chontizo's songs were bigger. People now talk like, the future is saying that Burna Boy should have won. Bro, you are looking in hindsight. 6 years ago, you people were saying Chontizo was winning because Chontizo was winning at the time. He was a bigger artist than Burna Boy. Burna Boy's controversy was tanking his career at the time. People need to stop looking at things in hindsight. At the time, Chontizo deserved it. So what should the Headies do right now? It's either they stop nominating Burna Boy or they find a way to settle it. Because it's not a good look if you keep nominating the guy for what he deserves and he's not winning. It doesn't make any sense. So they have to find a solution. And that's facts only.